In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the perfect wholesaling friendly title company for your business. So here's what I'm going to cover in the video. The first thing is I'm going to teach you the ideal situation parameters for locating this type of title company to help out your wholesaling business. I'm going to walk you through the criteria, the actual questions, so-called the interview that I share in locating all my wholesale friendly title companies. And last but not least, I'm going to show you how to easily duplicate my system to find local title companies in your area that will help you out with your wholesaling business. Guys, this is absolutely key to your wholesaling business. Your title company will make you or break you. So before we get into the video, I need you, everyone do me a favor, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'm gonna provide you a ton of content, and I'm gonna share in my 19 years experience of how to locate these friendly title companies that will help out your wholesaling business. So let's dive in. First thing we want to do is identify what we're looking for in these title companies. So I basically have 4 key criteria. Number 1, you want to locate small mom and pop title companies. Well, Rick, why wouldn't I just want to use like a big giant corporate title companies? If you see in your search when you're looking for title companies, if you see they have 30, 40 locations or they're in all like 50 states, do yourself a favor, avoid them. What they do is they burn and churn employees like a large corporation. And you're typically going to get very inexperienced people, and they're only going to cater to what we call retail transactions that focus on real estate agents, stuff that's on MLS. We don't do those types of transactions, so why do we want to do business with them? They're not going to cater to you. No large corporate chains of title companies, in my experience over 19 years, they just don't work. Occasionally we have to use them, but I'm not taking my business to those title companies. We want to locate small mom and pop shops, usually one individual owner in your local town. Maybe have 1 offices. The max is 4 or 5 within your geographic area. Do me this favor, it will save you a ton of pain in your wholesaling business. Number 2, make sure the staff at the title company, especially the owner, and most importantly is the receptionist at the front desk. If you do not get that warm, bubbly feeling, or they're constantly putting you on hold, heed the warning. That's how they're going to treat you. And you've got to understand this. You're sending your clients there. And remember, we're in real estate, but we're mostly solving people's problems. If they're rude to your sellers and you have it under contract, you're going to make them feel uncomfortable. And a rude staff can actually unwind your entire deal. So, number 1, we're going to locate mom and pop shops. Number 2, you need to have friendly people. If they answer the phone and they put you on hold without even addressing you, I'm probably going to move on at that point. The next step is when you walk in, you want to make sure you're greeted with a friendly, kind person with a smile, and it always helps out. Number 3, after I walk in the title company, or if I'm just doing it over the phone, and I'm going to teach you the criteria, you want to see if they're working with investors. Now, there's several ways to go about this. A lot of times they'll print it on some of their marketing material on social media. A lot of times they'll just have like a pamphlet in their office. We work with investors. You'll see testimonials of deals they've taken down with investors. Listen to what the girl at the front counter says, because she is the gatekeeper. If she says, we don't really work with investors, or worst case is she says, I don't even know what you're talking about, heed the warning. The owner might tell you one thing, but the girl at the front desk, she's in that place usually 8 to 10 hours a day, and she knows if she's talking with investors. And a lot of times they'll give you their opinion of what they think of investors. So a simple qualifying question when you initially meet with a title company, or say you're thinking about using a title company on a previous transaction you've done in the past for your wholesaling business. Do you guys work with investors? Shut your mouth up, use your 2 ears, and see how they respond. If they respond positive, move forward. If it's negative, move on to the next mom and pop. After that, if you're comfortable from that, what I would do is set an appointment to meet with the principal. The principal is just a fancy word for the owner of the company. If it's a true mom and pop shop, you should have no problem setting up an appointment to meet with them. I would do this in person. Doing it over the phone is very informal, and you're just not going to win them over. So think about how we teach you how to work with your sellers. You want to do the same process with your title company. So now you've set the appointment, and you can't just walk in and hammer the owner. You got to give them some time because they don't know you. So maybe the next day or next week, you're going to go out. So in this next step, I'm going to walk you through the key principles on how to ask the right qualifying questions to get the most effective wholesaling friendly title company for your business. Now, these questions I've accrued over 19 years. I have used hundreds of title companies. I have basically 2 main title companies I use in my business. And then if I have to use an outside title company, I'm very strict on the qualification purpose. Let's roll through the question. So you're going to sit down. You're going to treat the owner of the business just like you would treat a seller. You're going to build some rapport, and you're going to sit down and ask them some questions. And the first thing is, I'm going to go back to, do you work with a lot of investors? Shut your mouth, listen to the response, and they're probably going to go on and on. Yes, we do, because you've gotten to this point. And I'm going to ask them, how many investors do you work with approximately? Why is that important? Because the more investors they work with, the more situations they've been exposed to, and the easier it is to dial them in to your wholesaling business. You're not here to teach them wholesaling, guys. They're supposed to be a complement to your business. Now, they're not your employee, but they are a key member of your team. So if you're an individual operator, I was for the first 7 years of my career, I will tell you, the title company was probably the single most important key team member in my wholesaling business. So I want you to understand that. Find out how many wholesalers they're working with. The more, the merrier. This is not competition. If they have 10 or 15 investors, that's impressive. I'll be honest with you, most of them work with 3 or 4 at most, with 1 or 2 of them predominantly doing most of the transactions, and then a guy bringing a deal here and there. The next thing is, what percentage of your business is from investors? Are you going to get the truth on this? I don't know, but you're looking for something like at least a 20% margin on this. Why is that important? Because most title companies are geared towards retail transactions. Retail transactions take a long time. Realtors bring a lot of drama. If you're a realtor, don't take it personal, but there's a lot of drama in your deals. Investors have a different type of drama, but we have problem transactions, and it takes experienced people to help you out with it. If they say, I only deal with about 1 or 2% investors, that's kind of a check on your previous question is, how many investors do you work with? If they say they work with 15 or 20 investors and it's only 1% of their business, someone's not telling the truth here, and you need to heed the warning with it. The next question we're going to ask, are you okay with assignments? Why am I asking this? Guys, if you haven't learned by now, assignments are the key contract in your wholesaling business. You need to be familiar with them, and your title company has to be ridiculously familiar on how assignments work. So you should have your particular assignment contracts. Ask them if they have an assignment contract, they're comfortable with it, and ask them to produce it for you and go over it with you. It will tell you if they actually do assignments or not. Assignments are key in getting you paid in your wholesaling business. So these next set of questions are going to be a little bit high level. You don't have to completely understand them. It's going to let you figure out your title company's depth of knowledge of working with investors. I'll go over them in a later video and I'll go in detail, but for this one, we're focusing on how to get a wholesale friendly title company for you. So the next one is, you're going to ask, do you perform double closings? I'll go in detail on later and just see what the response is. Make a mental note of it or write it down. Next one you do is, do you guys write title exceptions? This is just a little trick up your sleeve when you're doing investment deals. There's a lot of title issues that come up, particularly with code violations. They'll tell you, yes, we did it on this deal, we did it on that deal. Or if they look at you and go, Rick, what the heck are you talking about? What's a title exception? That's teaching you that maybe they're not an investor-friendly title company. The next one we want to put on there, are you familiar with working with probates? I do a ton of probates. Probates are inevitable if you're working in real estate investing, particularly in wholesaling. They need to have a firm knowledge of probates. I love to get probates done before they're completed. If they're telling you to wait till the probate's done, heed the warning. They are definitely not your wholesaling-friendly title company. Another key question is, do you have an attorney on staff? A lot of owners of a title company, believe it or not, they have a law degree, and it comes in handy for their business because there's a lot of consultation that has to go on legal if the title's clean with the underwriter. I don't want to get into it, but a lot of times the owner can be an attorney. That can be a huge plus for you because you have an attorney built in your title company, which is going to make you look like a rock star and actually will save you a lot of attorney fees. By the way, being an attorney is not a requirement. It's just a great question to ask. Or a lot of times they have somebody on staff or a consultation and an attorney they work with locally. So the next one is, do you offer discounts for multiple closings, particularly the closing cost? By the way, if I haven't taught you by now, in real estate, everything's negotiable. Title companies, you have to negotiate before you start doing deals with them or you're stuck. Okay. So you want to find out if you do multiple deals with them, will they negotiate on the closing cost? Say if you bring them 15, 20, or 30 deals, you should get a better rate than the guy that does one deal every 5 years, correct? So if you're buying in bulk, you expect bulk discounts. So ask about discounts. When you do, keep your mouth shut. When he or she says, what are you talking about? Closing fees. What are the closing costs? If I do a lot of transactions, will I get a discount with it? And this is an absolutely huge one right here. This question is, who will be my main contact person at this title company? This person has to be, you need to meet them right there. So a lot of times when I first started with these title companies, I would work directly with the principal because they wanted to make me happy. That's the perfect scenario, but sometimes they have a girl or a guy that works with them, and that's the right-hand man. They pull title, they do searches, they work with the underwriters. Find out who this person is, meet with them, and see if you click with them and see if they understand working with investors. If they have no clue to any of these answers, that's your tip that they're not a wholesaling friendly title company. So make sure that contact person is accessible and make sure you guys get along, because guess what? That's the person who's going to be talking to your sellers. That's the person that's going to help you close the deal. That's the person that's going to save your butt when the deal starts to fall apart. Title companies are the gatekeepers to getting your deals closed. They are probably the most important team member outside of marketing on your wholesaling team. So keep that in mind. One of my biggest secrets in 19 years is, if they cannot answer this question, do not use them. They are not a wholesaling friendly title company. Get the contact persons at the title company's cell phone number and make sure they'll answer it for you. Now, don't be calling them asking for cooking recipes or like drink cocktails on a Friday night. If you're having a problem with a seller and there's a question on the title or there's a question about the closing on Monday, I need to know if I call you on 7:30 on Friday night or I call you Saturday morning, someone's going to answer their cell phone. If they will not give you your cell phone number, run to the hills. They are not an investor-friendly title company to your wholesaling business. The cell number is the key to this business because it makes it very personal. We operate 24/7. We don't have time zones. We don't open and close. We operate based on how our sellers respond to our marketing. And once we get them all that hard-earned money, we need to get the deals done. If we need to contact our title company after hours, I need somebody to answer the phone. Rick, okay, I've got your ideal avatar for a wholesaling friendly title company. I have the questionnaire in order on the right questions to make sure I'm getting the right company. The last thing is, Rick, how do we find them? Guys, this is really simple. Don't overthink it. In 19 years, it hasn't changed much. So number one, just Google it. It's not hard. Look at previous transactions you've done maybe personally or with friends. Just because you closed your personal house with them does not make them a wholesale friendly title company. Most title companies are geared towards retail MLS transactions, understanding that very few of them are going to fit this mold. The next one we want to do is, once you find the company, go online, check for Google reviews. I find them to be very reliable. If you see a lot of reviews of like, they made me wait forever, do this, understand they have high turnover, probably not going to be your company. Understanding nobody has perfect reviews, but if you only see 3 reviews and they're 3 negative reviews, the company probably just doesn't give a crap about their image, and understanding your sellers will be exposed to the exact same. Next thing is, if you find that company, go to their social media pages. Every one of them has it. Facebook, sometimes Twitter, not so much, Instagram, and see if you can find deals where investors have done deals before. Don't forget about your local RIAs. A lot of RIAs are sponsored by wholesaling friendly title companies. Make sure you qualify them. Just because they're at that meeting and a sponsor does not make them your wholesaling friendly title company. Just vet them. Remember, if you follow the path of what other investors are doing, a lot of times you can make this much easier than it has to be. Make sure you just locate other wholesalers you're networking with. As I said before, guys, don't try to reinvent the wheel here. Find other people that are using these title companies, just to make sure, just because another wholesaler used them doesn't mean they're the perfect fit. Use my questions to qualify them. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you shortly. Thanks.